Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I am so excited to be here this week with what's on my mind. Every once in a while, I like to come on here and just share what's going on with me, for me, about me, to me, all the things. Um, as much as I love interviewing my guests, I also like to just kind of share what's going on with me. And right now, I'm coming off an amazing 4-day retreat that I went to last weekend. And I want to talk about self-care. We have this, for years I used to think massage was self-care and getting a facial and getting my nails done. And while those are forms of self-care, I want to talk about the self-care that we do for our insides, not just our outsides. And I've learned massage is, I used to think it was a luxury, and now, as I'm, replacing different body parts and getting older, I'm realizing how much massage is part of a necessity of my self-care. It isn't a luxury anymore. It's really something my body needs to feel better. Um, During this retreat, people ask me often what this retreat is like, and it's really, I've been a couple of times and it's hard to explain, but one of the things I say is it's breath and body work, right? Our bodies hold everything. We are energy and it stays within our body system. So if we don't move it out, it stays. Having had two major surgeries in a year, um, my body's been through a lot over the last year and a half, and it allowed me to release some of that. And emotions get trapped in our body. And that was a lot of what I was working on this weekend. Things that I just um, wasn't able to process because I had shit to do. And I'm a caretaker, right? So I'm in that trap, or have been. It's still my work, but I'm in that trap of overgiving and undernourishing myself, right? So I'll do for you, and then there's nothing left for me. So as life has gone on, I have learned that I can't do that anymore. I truly have to fill my own cup first before I can fill anyone else's. And I would love for, comment in the notes, send me an email, do whatever, but I'm curious, is your own inner work non-negotiable? Like for me, as a coach, I have to take care of me because if I don't, I can't be there for my clients, right? I have to be able to hold space for when my clients are having their own work. And if I'm not doing my work, I actually can't be there for my clients. So it's not negotiable for me, right? I work with coaches, I work with therapists, I go on retreats, I work with healers. And I invite people when you're hiring a coach, a healer, a therapist, make sure that they have a coach, a healer, a therapist, and they're doing their work. There's a lot of coaches and healers out there that aren't doing their own work, and that will catch up eventually, right? I feel completely different this week than I did last week because I was able to replenish myself. I was able to work through some stuck energy. And I'm in integration. I'm in that place of integrating and embodying what I experienced over the 4 days because that's also part of the work. I, for the most part, took Monday off. I had a little bit of things that, I got caught up on emails, but I didn't see clients. I didn't go to any meetings. I really tried to just sit with what was going on. And I allowed myself to feel any resistance that came up over the weekend. And there wasn't a lot because I was really ready for the work that I was doing. But an event happened right before. The way that the retreat is that it's a group retreat, but each person does individual work as well while being witnessed with the group. And my work was actually the very last session of the day on Saturday. And right before that, there was an event that happened that really took me out of being present. Um, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that came, a lot of emotions that came up. There was fear, there was guilt, there was shame, there was all kinds of stuff that came up. And while I knew I still needed to do my part of my work, it was really hard for me to be present in that moment. And I was able to get there, but it was interesting how easy it was for me to get out of it. I was worried about a friend. There was a lot that came up that took me out, right? So it was worrying about others, so that took the piece off of me. Um, and that is a pattern for me. And I've been able to notice that and recognize it. And I knew I still needed to do the work, but I also named the feelings that I was having: fear, grief, shame, guilt. And I did it anyways, right? It just added to the work that I had to do. Doing healing work, right? I talk a lot about addiction to busyness and being a doer, and um, I teach how to do more by being more. Healing isn't a checkbox. It's not something you just check off your to-do list. It's a lifestyle. It's an ongoing, continual growth pattern that you really you need to be willing to continue to do to really deepen what's going on, deepen your healing. It isn't something you write down on your to-do list and then check it off. Okay, did my healing. It's a constant, all right, well, that feeling just came up. Ooh, all right, I just got triggered. What's in that? What's going on for me? It's also about giving yourself permission to feel the feelings that you have, permission to pause, right? Permission to reflect on what's coming out. And when you give yourself permission, everything shifts. When you actually allow yourself to feel what's coming up for you and be curious. I feel like curiosity is so important. Hmm. Oh, that person in traffic just cut me off. Well, I wonder what's going on with them. Oh, why did that just trigger me? Oh, fear came up. Monday, I came home late Sunday night. So the place I went to is about 5 hours away, and I drove by myself. So I had a lot of me time on the ride home. And Monday, I woke up and I had an appointment with my chiropractor, and it was early. I I will say I wish I hadn't done that, but I had to be there at like 9:30 in the morning. So I got up, left the house, and I had two errands to do. And I walked into the Dollar Tree store, and I was roaming around. And if you've ever done a retreat or any really deep work, there's like this bubble that you're in for a while. So I was still kind of in my bubble. And I heard someone say, "Are you waiting for me? Are you looking for me?" And I thought it was another shopper talking to a friend, a family. I wasn't sure. And then I heard her mumble something about, "I guess they're not looking. I guess they don't want me." And I went about my business being in my little bubble. And when I got up to the cash register, there was somebody in front of me, but there was nobody at the register. And then this person came around, and they were huffing and puffing and breathing heavy and slamming things around. And I realized that was the person who was saying, "Are you waiting for me? Are you waiting for me?" And I watched this cashier and felt her anxiousness and her anger. She, it was palpable. And, I wanted to give her a hug, but I thought, okay, she wasn't at my retreat, so that could feel a little awkward. There was a lot of hugging at the retreat. But I had so much empathy for her, and I thought, this poor woman, what's going on in her life that is giving her so much stress and anxiety right now? That she's taking it out on the people in this line. And that's what happens when we don't do our work. And there's no judgment. Believe me, there's no judgment. There was a lot of empathy for this woman. But her anxiety, her anger was palpable. And I could feel it being in line, waiting, and I wished her a great day. And she didn't even acknowledge it. And my heart really broke for her because she's going through life with all this anger, all this sadness. And that is part of life. It really is. And if we actually allow ourselves to feel it, we integrate it instead of resist it. So, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to slow down and check in with your soul? Because your soul needs to rest. So, a couple of things that I would love to leave you here with. You don't need to go do a 4-day retreat 5 hours away. I highly recommend it, but you don't have to do that. But can you take some time each day and just go inward? Can you allow yourself, when you feel triggered, to actually look at what's going on inside of you instead of pointing the finger to whatever the situation is? Because when we can actually go inward, that's where the healing is. When we're constantly blaming and looking outward, we're not healing. We're actually the victim of. And there's so much more power when we can own what's going on with us. So I invite you to give yourself permission to slow down, to check in with your soul, to actually ask the question, what's going on here? What do I need to know? Feel free to reach out if this is a journey that you want to explore. I love working with my clients, helping them really look at what's going on internally and really figure out how to manage or release some of those triggers. I don't always believe you can completely release triggers, but I do think the energy behind them can subside. And we get to choose how to respond to them. Because you can have your trigger and then you have the response to the trigger. And when you do this work, your response is different. It can be less. In the past, when I was triggered, my response to it could last days. Now I still get triggered, but I respond differently. I go, okay, this is coming up. All right, what's going on? Let's check in. What do I need to know? And I invite you to ask those questions. What's going on here? What do I need to know? What's happening with me? I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And today I didn't even pull cards. I didn't even think to pull cards ahead of time. but I do happen to have a deck right next to me. So we're going to pull them live. Usually I pull them ahead of time and they're here. So I'm going to invite, we're pulling the moon deck. We have a full moon on, I think it's this Saturday. So we're pulling from the moon deck. So I'm going to invite you, not doing this if you're driving, but if you're not driving and you're not in a place where you need to have your eyes open, close your eyes and ask, what message do I need? And ask if the left, right, or the center card is for you. I'm going to pull all of them and then I will choose. I will share them. Just take a nice deep breath and ask, what do I need to know? All right. So if you chose the center card, I am the weaver of my reality. And you can see the spider weaving its web. What that says is, ooh, a little blurry there. What that really says is you get to create your own reality. Nobody else gets to create your reality but you. If you chose left, my home is a sacred space full of beauty, inspiration, and protection. And I would add to that, your home is, yes, your house, your apartment, your dwelling, but also your home is your heart, your soul. So it is a sacred space. You are full of beauty and inspiration. And if you chose right, I free myself from critical thoughts towards my body and my worth. How often are you listening to that critical voice? And are you willing to change the story that it tells you? Thank you for joining me today on What's on My Mind. I really hope that today's episode has inspired you to embrace your inner wisdom, allow yourself to quiet and navigate your path with a renewed sense of purpose. Remember, transformation begins from within. Take a moment each day to connect with your higher self and trust that the universe is guiding you towards your highest good. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, share this podcast with those who might benefit from our message. Your support really helps us to reach more souls on their spiritual journey. You can stay connected with my community on social media. My links will be in the show notes. You can visit my website at foreverchangecoaching.com for additional resources and upcoming events. I do have an event starting in June. It's a 6-week series from overwhelmed to thriving. If you are ready to make a big ass up level, this will really help you get move along. We're going to incorporate the conscious codes, EFT, and some powerful coaching to really help uncover and unleash what's keeping you stuck. Until next time, continue to shine your light and walk in peace and love. I'm Francine Terrell, and this has been Effin' Fridays with Francine. Thank you, and have a fabulous Friday.